Good afternoon, friends. We are learning our subject Python for Data Science 3150713. In that, we are learning Pandas library, which is part of our module 2 and module 3. Let us continue from creating the series. Now we want to have the series is like ND array like, right? It is like ND array. So let us learn for that. Series acts very similarly to ND array, that is n dimensional array, isn't it? And is a valid argument to most NumPy functions. NumPy functions we have just seen, right, in previous lecture. However, operations such as slicing will also slice the index. Let's see what series we were having. What we have created, that was with the random number, that was say 5 random numbers, and we have created the index that was A, B, C, D, E, right? This is what the series we have created. Now if I use it as S of 0, it is like array, right? So we can say that it is this first one, right? So it is 0 index. The way we are using our any array, right? N dimensional array. That way it is that. Then if I want to print say 0 to 2 index values, we can give it as say S of colon 3. We used to provide it as row and column, right? So if we provide this slice, we can have the values that is 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, 2. For median, if we want to find, we can be using as dot median. See, functions are known to us. For NumPy, the comparisons are also known to us. We want to see that it is working for series also, right? That is Pandas series. So here, if I want to check whether the S value is greater than S dot median, whatever is the median value is that, I want to check it out whether it is greater than or not. So for that, whichever value of S is greater than median, that will be shown here. Two values we can see. What is the median? We can print that separately. No issue for that. S dot median. Let me say that med value, right? And here I can be giving it as this one. No issue. I want to print it, right? No issue for that. Okay. So run. We'll be having this as the median value, and we are checking whether the S values are greater than this or not, right? So for that only it will be printing the whatever values are, isn't it? Now if I am giving it as S4, 3, 1. Now what it gives? 4 is what? 4 is what? It is this one, E. 3 is what? Is D. And what is 1 is B, isn't it? A, B, C, D, E. Is that right? So we can say for A it is 0, for B it is 1, for C it is 2, for D it is 3, and for E it is 5. 4, isn't it? So here we have printed 4, 3, 1. So it will give us 4, that means E, 3 means D, and for 1 it is B, right? So for those index values, whatever are the S values, that's what we are getting. Now, very important thing which we want to learn is data frame. Series we have seen, it is one dimensional array, right? Now we want to have the data frame. Data frame is a two-dimensional label data structure with columns of potentially different types. You can think of it like a spreadsheet or SQL table or a dictionary of series objects. It is generally the most commonly used pandas object. Very important for us. Let us see that. Let us create the data frame. See, we'll be having our CSV file, which will be reading, and there also will be having the data frame available. But the CSV file is typically having say 500 or 600 rows, right? So if we want to know about particular operations, like if we want to find the median, or you can say mean, or any other, if we are having the data set of this many rows, we cannot understand it very easily that it is giving you what answer, right? You can believe that it is median only, it is mean only, that you can believe, but you may not be able to calculate it like pen and paper, right? Typically, small examples if we are using, we can understand that clearly, isn't it? So for that, let us create the data frame. That is the way we are having our dictionary, right? So here I am providing dictionary value directly I have given and creating a data frame. So what we are giving is A is the key and what is the value? That is 4, 5, 6. This is a list. B is the key and 7, 8, 9. Now you can say that is it like for dictionary, if we are having key as A and one value, again if we are giving say A as key and value, so it will override the value. So here that is not the case. Typically, do not confuse with that. Let me say that this is the dictionary. So what we are having is say name, and I am giving its value as a mean. Now after that, if I am giving name, and if I am giving its value as a bird. Now what happens typically for this is it overrides the value for this key, that is name. Name is the key. Here also name is the key, right? So what it does, it overrides the value. So instead of me, when we'll print that, we'll be able to get the value as me. This is what is already known to us, right? But this is not that, where it will override say 4, then 5, and it is having 6. Here the value is a list, right? Here the value is a list. So do not confuse with this. Okay. Okay, so for A key, we are having a list that is 4, 5, 6. For B, we are having the list that is 7, 8, 9. For C, we are having say 10, 11, 12. And index, we are providing it as say 1, 2, 3. Now, if we print this data frame, what we are having, that is say 1, 2, 3 is the index. For ABC column, which we are having here, for them the values are say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, right? So it looks like say row and column architecture, right? Or you can say it is something like our Excel sheet, or you can say it is something like our SQL data, isn't it? So now if the index is not specified and we are using list, what we are creating now is data frame, right? We are creating the data frame. So say df is equal to pd dot data frame. We are providing list, right? So if we do this and print df, what we can get is we'll be getting the value that is fine. That was from 1 to 10. But for index, as we haven't specified, it will create from 0 to whatever is the length minus 1, right? Let us see the df dot index. We can understand that df dot index. So what it will give us? Starting from 0, stops at 10 and step 1. Stops at 10, that means 10 minus 1, isn't it? That is understood to us. If we want to print first 5 rows of the data, we can use it as df dot head. This also will be using for our data set, right? So understand it properly. If I want to print say 10 rows, I'll be specifying here. Okay. By default, if I am using df.head, it will give me top 5 rows. If I use df.tail, it will print the last 5 rows of the data. Here, as I told you that if I want to print first 7 rows, I'll be giving this 7 as the argument. Right? 7 is the argument. Same way for the last rows, we can say we can there also provide the tail and argument, right? So we'll be getting last 7 rows, say 10, 9, 8, 7, right? That way we'll be getting the values, isn't it? And for index, we can say 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, that way, right? Now, create data frame with 2 columns. Index is the insertion order 0 to 3. Data is equal to, say we have provided as dictionary only. So name and the value is a list. So say Anirban, Honey, Om, Adarsh, right? Now for age, we are having 20, 21, 19, 18, right? Here 1, 2, 3, 4 values. Here also we are having 1, 2, 3, 4 values, right? Now if we create the data frame, that is with the help of df is equal to pt.data frame, and we provide this data, what will be that? Row and column are being created. What are the columns? Name is one column, age is one column, right? And what is the index? That is 0 and 2, whatever is the data length, minus 1. Here the length is 4, so it will be 0 to 3. That is the index, fine. So let's see the output. We can have the idea. Name is one column, age is one column. For Anirban 20, Honey 21, O 19, Adarsh 18. Fine. And the index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Fine. Now, let us create the data for car. So how we can create that? Let us say that data is equal to car, name, column. What values we are putting? Swift, BMW, Honda City, Sierra, Nano. We can say Ferrari. We can say Maruti 800, Matador. We can say Lamborghini, or right? This is what we have given. The same number of values will be giving here. Buying price, say 5 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 10 lakhs, in lakhs it is there. For maintenance price, it is say 0.5, 2.51, the other values. Sitting capacity is say 5, 6, continue, right? DF is equal to pt.data frame of data, right? Now what it gives us? We can see the car name. The columns are there. Car name, buying price, maintenance price, sitting capacity, right? The values will be there the way we have provided here. This is seen as a list and that will seem as a column, right? That will seem as a column here, right? So this is what is our data frame created, right? Here we can see it as a 0, 5 and something like this. It is because this name is very big, isn't it? Let me reduce that. Say sit capacity. Let us put that this way, right? Cap, let me write. So if I run it this way, you can see the things properly. That is, this is the index given. And after that, we can say this is the seat capacity, right? But I'll not change the name because we may have used further examples. This is just to show you, right? It is sitting capacity, isn't it? Let me run it again. Though we are able to see it not properly here, it is fine. You may reduce the size and you may be able to see it properly. That is okay. But the thing is, whatever is the name we have used here, same column name, we may have used in other data. So I'm not changing it, isn't it? This also you can see properly. Fine. It is having the, what you can say, the, this is 200, right? Zoom level of 175 is there. So no issue for seeing, isn't it? So this is fine. Okay, our data. Now, say df dot head with this one, what will get? Car name, buying price, maintenance, sitting capacity, 0 to 6, top 7 rows, right? If I want to access a particular column, that is say maintenance, I can use it as df of, in single bracket, we can provide the column name. So that value I'll be getting. Here it is df of maintenance, right? So maintenance value will be having, and index is that, right? Without index, it doesn't work. What is the D type of it? That is float 64, right? If I want to have the two columns, then I can say df of, that list is there, but that should be accessed inside the index, isn't it? That means in the square bracket, we are having one more square bracket. Inside that, we can provide this list. So it is nothing like this one. That is, it is there in the single list. This is not there, right? It should be something like this. Okay. Two square brackets are there because we typically used to write it as A of something, isn't it? But now for that index, instead of one index, I want to provide two index. That is a list I want to provide, right? So it should be written this way, that two square brackets must be there. So do not make mistake for that. So for that, we can say car name and maintenance price, right? Index is there, isn't it? Now, the same example is there, right? It's car name, buying price, maintenance. You can say, ma'am, why have you put it again? See, many a times it happens that while I teach this and lecture is over at this particular time, right? So we have to copy that data from there. It happened, isn't it? So it is coming here. It is the same thing which we have already run. Fine. Okay. So let us proceed further. Index is equal to CHR of alpha. We are doing what? We are setting the index. For this particular example, the index is whatever is by default. That is 0 to data length minus 1. But for this data frame, it was not given the index I want to provide, right? So that we can do it as, say, index is equal to, now what index I want to set? I want to create the index that is A, B, C, D, E, that way, right? So whatever number of data that must be there. So I have calculated that it is having, say, 0 to 9. So 10 data is there. So I can say that I should be having the range that is from 97 to 107. Why 97 to 107? We know that ASCII value of small a is 97. That's what I want to give. I want to give the indexes small a, small b, small c, that way, right? So for that, I'm having the range is 97 to 107. Now what I'm doing is I'm using CHR of alpha. That is whatever I'm giving for alpha in range of this. For that, I am taking its ASCII value. Its ASCII value, or you can say, sorry, not ASCII value, the character of it. So this is the ASCII value. If I want to get the character according to that, we should be using CHR of that number in Python, right? So for that, we'll be getting small a, small b, small c, small d, right? That way we'll be getting. Here what I'm doing is I'm creating one index that is, say, small a, small b, small c, small d, small e, that way, right? So for that, we can say, let us print that, but this index, now how to set the index, that is df dot index is equal to this index array, what we have just created, right? For our this data frame, that is for our car data set, right? Car data set, we have created the data and we are setting the index. Fine. So let me run this. So now you can see the index is A, B, C, D, E, and not the default one that was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So we have created the index for whatever data we were having. So we can set them, isn't it? If we want to print the number of columns of the data, we can use it as df dot columns, right? Whatever columns are there with us. Okay, whatever columns are there with us. If we want to find the number of columns, this is for the columns. If we want to find the number of columns, we can be using len of df dot columns. If we want to find the index, we can use it as df dot index, right? So we can say for columns, we are having say car name, buying price, maintenance price, sitting capacity, right? And its D type is object. For index, we can say it is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, right? And that's D type also is object. Now say there are multiple ways to select and index rows and columns from Pandas data. So for that we are having selecting data by label or by condition. We can be using .loc. For selecting data by row numbers, we'll be using LOC, but ILOC. We can say that number. Typically, we can say that row number. That means we can say integer number, right? So you can say ILOC. This is the location only, right? But that is with the help of label and condition statement. If we want to use it as a number, say fifth row or sixth row, that way if I want to access, I can be using it as .ilog. If we want to have, that is selecting in a hybrid approach, then we can be using it as .ix. But now it is deprecated, right? It is older. What we can say is it is older, nothing more than that. And people are not using it much. So let us see indexing a data frame using .loc, LOC, location, right? And then after in the square bracket, we can provide what we can provide. We can provide either the label or we can provide the condition, right? We have seen that for LOC, we can provide the label or condition statement, isn't it? So let's see. This function selects the data by label of the rows and columns. The df.log indexes selects data in a different way than just the indexing operator. It can select subset of rows or columns. It can also simultaneously select subsets of rows and columns. Fine. Let us see that df.log, we can say loc, right? Location, right? LOC or you can speak, whatever you want, of A, right? So what it gives us, it gives us what? It gives us the data, that is we can say is it the df.log data? No, first of all what we are doing is we are printing the original df. So what it shows in that, and then after df.log A, what it will print. That's what we want to see, isn't it? So this is for the our default printing of df, right? So that is where we are having say A, B, C, D, E. Means index is there. Then after we can say that car name column, then buying price, then maintenance price, then sitting capacity. But when we are having df.log of A, we can say we are having for this particular A index, we are having the car name as Swift, buying price as 5, maintenance price as 0.5, and sitting capacity as 5. So that's what we are getting here. Car name is Swift, buying price 5, maintenance price 0.5, sitting capacity 5, name A, right? What is name A? That is this one, isn't it? Now, let us see the example for iLock. iLock indexer for pandas data frame is used for integer location based indexing or selection by position. So we can say data.iLock 0. That means first row of the data frame. And what if we are giving data.iLock of 1? It means second row. What if we are giving data.iLock of -1? Data.iLock of -1. That means last row of the data frame. Got the point? Columns. For that we can say data.iLock. Now for this was for the row, right? Now we want to provide for the column. So what we can say is nothing is there for row, column. Then after we can say comma and we can provide the column value, right? So if I give this way, it is first column of the data frame. Then after this is the second column of the data frame. If I give it this way, -1, then it is the last column of the data frame, right? So how typically we are using it? It is start row number, colon, and row number, comma, start column number, colon, and column number, right? This is the way we are using, fine. So let us see that. First of all, we'll be printing the DF, so we'll be able to see it full data frame. Then after we'll be using whatever we want to use here, that is according to this slicing, we can say, right? So we'll be providing here and we'll see the output. So we can have the idea that what it is taking, fine. So DF will be printing, then after we can say iLock of 3. So this is what is our whole data frame. It is this one, right? It is this one. Now what we are giving is iLock of 3. So what it gives us, this is typically 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So that is for D. What it gives us, car name Sierra, buying price 2, maintenance price 0.2, sitting capacity 4, right? So for this particular row, it gives us the output, right? Print DF, it is our normal, right? Now say df.iLock 0:3 for row, that is starting row, ending row. Then we can say that starting column and ending column, all the things we are providing. So 0:3, comma 0:3, right? Start index of row, end index of row, start index of column, and end index of column. All the things are being provided. Now, what will be there? 0:3. Start index is 0 and end index is 3. So 0 to 2 will be there for row, right? 0 to 2 means 0, 1, 2. So A, B, C we can say. What about the column? For that we can say 0:3. So for that also 0, 1, 2 will be there. For 0 it is car name, for 1 it is buying price, and for 2 it is maintenance price, right? So that's what the data we are able to see, right? When we run this particular cell, we'll be getting it as this one, right? 0, 1, 2 row, 0, 1, 2 column, right? Now, if I'm giving this way, that is df.iLock 0, 1, 3, 4. What is this? It is start row, column, and row, comma, start column, comma, and column. Is it there? Column is there. Column is there. This symbol, it's not there. So column is not specified. Is it so? Let me check it out. What it is then? row and column, that is by colon separated and comma, that is not there. Here it is being provided only with 0, 1, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll print those many rows. How it is that 0 means A, 1 means B, 3 means D, and E means O, right? So this way we are able to see the output. This is to print a few rows. Now, selecting pandas data using IX. The IX indexer is hybrid of LOC and ILOC. That is known to us, right? Generally, IX is label based, acts as the .loc indexer. However, it supports the integer type selection also, as we are having for .iloc, right? This only works where the index of the data frame is not integer based, right? So IX will accept any type of input, that is, we can say that LOC or ILOC, right? So let us check it out. df.ix of 0. Data frame object has no attribute IX. This we have already seen, it is deprecated. And here what we are having is this df.iloc. That way here we are using df.ix. It is not available, right? No issue for that, okay? You can use any other way to use that particular thing. Okay? You may search for Google. You may use any other version and you can use it. No issue for that. But the thing is, IX is available. It is older one. So we are also not going to use it. Isn't it? We'll be using iloc and loc, right? So let us print the important characteristics. That is, we can say D types. We want to know the D types, isn't it? So df.d types. We want to print. First of all, we are printing the data frame. Then after, we'll be printing the D types. Okay. So let's see. This is only our data frame which we have printed. Then after the D types, I want to know that what is the type of a particular column. So for that, you can say we are printing df.d types, right? So car name is of type object, buying price is integer 64, maintenance price is float 64, sitting capacity is integer 60, right? df.shape, that is row and column, isn't it? Let me write it this way, that is df.shape of 0. And let me put it 1 also, insert cell below, right? So I'll be giving it as df.shape, df.shape, and then 1. Okay. Now what it gives me? 4. You can see that, isn't it? df.shape gives us the shape, that is number of rows and columns. If I want to just get the number of rows, I can be using it as df.shape of 0. And if I want to get the number of columns, I can be using it as df.shape of 1. Right? Now size. Size function is used to get an integer representing the number of elements in this object. 10 rows and 4 columns. So 10 into 4, that is 40, right? So size will give us what? That is the total number of elements, right? df.values returns a NumPy representation of the data frame. df.values. So it represents the NumPy array representation, isn't it? Now, if we want to summarize the data, for that, we can say we'll be using df.describe. What it gives us? It gives us the count. First of all, it is the count. How many data are there? 10 data were there. So 10 is there. Then after mean. Mean is known to you, right? Sigma xi upon n. In maths, you have already studied. So that is what is giving for each and every column. That is for buying price, maintenance price, sitting capacity, right? Mean is that. This is the standard deviation of it. Then this is the minimum value, whatever is available for a particular column. That's what it is giving here. This is called as 25% quartile, right? That is, we can say 5.25, 5.25, sorry, 5.25.5254, right? 25% percentile, we can typically use to say. 50% is median, and this is called the 75% quartile, right? We'll see that max is the maximum value. That's what we are getting here, fine. Now, count the number of rows with each unique value of variable. So for that, we can say printdf will give us the whole data set. Now what I am doing is df of buying price. For that, I want to have value underscore counts. Value underscore counts will give me what? Unique value count, right? So what it gives me, in buying price, we are having say 10 as the unique value. Its count is 2. 9 is the unique value. Its count is 1. 25 is the unique value whose count is 1. 8 is unique value whose count is 1. Right? So this way the value is there, which is there for our column, that is buying price. In buying price, we are having the unique values. They are 10, 9, 25, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, and its count in the data set is this one. Right? Len of df, that is the number of rows in the data frame, that is 10. So if you do not want to get it as a shape and then after 0, so you can get it this other way, that is len of df. If you want to just count the number of distinct values available, we can say it is df of buying price dot n unique, right? So it will give us the unique, or you can say distinct values available in that particular column, right? Now we want to summarize their data, which we have already seen that was using the df.describe, right? We have seen that that was using the df.describe, right? But it gives us the whole values like for each and every column, the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value, 25% quartile, 50% quartile, 75% quartile, and we can say max, right? This is what it gives us. But if we want to find it ourselves one by one, what functions we can use it? For sum, we can be getting the sum of the values of each object. For summarize, many other things are there, isn't it? Not only this. So sum is there, which was not there in the describe, right? But if we want to summarize the data, we are using sum. Count, that is, we can say count non-NA, not null value, whatever are the not null values or not available values, that is whatever are the available values, for that it finds the count. Median, that is a median value of each object. Quantile, that is what we have seen, 25% quantile and 75% quantile. That is, here we can say we can get it with the help of the quantile function, and we can provide say 0.25 and 0.75. That will give us the quantile of 25% and 75%. Fine. So what typically we used to say is the data is there. Now 25% of that data, what is that, right? So that's what we are getting here. Minimum value. So for that, mean function is there. For maximum value, max function is there. For mean, average, we are having mean function. For variance, we are having VAR. For standard deviation, we are having STD. For apply, It is, if we want to apply any particular function to each object, we can be using it as apply and whatever function we want to apply to it, right? So for sum, this is the syntax, right? Data frame dot sum. Let us see the example. We can understand df dot sum, right? So what it does, if the data is numeric, it will do the summation. Otherwise, it will concatenates all the data. Fine. So what we are getting? Buying price. For that, it is 86. What about this car name? Car name is string. So we can say Swift, BMW, Honda City, Sierra, all these things for that, right? So it has concatenated the values. For buying price, it is total, that is the sum, it is 86. For maintenance price also, it is numeric, so it is summation. For sitting capacity also, it is the summation. But for car name, as it is string, it is the concatenation. For count, we can say what it gives us, non-NSLs count, isn't it? So let us say that in car name it is 10, for buying price it is 10, for maintenance price it is 10, for sitting capacity it is 10. It is because we do not have any not available or null value. We can see the DF, we can have the idea, right? No null value is there, isn't it? All the values are available. For median, we can say df dot median. So it will give us the median of each and every column. For minimum, we can say it will give us the minimum of all the columns. For max, it will give us the maximum of all the columns. For mean, it is giving us the mean value, variance, right? Standard deviation, that is STD. For describe, typically we used to have 25 percentile, 50 percentile, and 75 percentile, right, of the data. That's what we are having here. This we can get as we are getting it as the quantile, isn't it? How we can get that? That is using the quantile. I show you that before as the function, isn't it? We'll see that. Count the number of rows with each unique values of the variable. We have seen this before also. That is, we can say a DF of buying price value underscore counts, like unique value. So in 10 was 2 times, 9 was 1 times, right? That way. Len of data, that is number of rows. Unique or distinct columns, that is this one, right? I have shown you because we are using this. In continuation of that, then we want to get the quantile, right? So for that, what you can say is this 25 percentage or 50 percentage, or you can say that it is 75 percentage, right? So it is percentile, and that is the quantile also. It is 25 percentile data. That means it is that quantile, right? Okay, so let's see that. If we are having the data frame available here, and if I want to get the 0.1 percentile or 0.1 what you can say is 10 percentage of the data, 10 percentile of the data we want to get, that is, we can say quantile of 0.1, isn't it? So df dot quantile we can give if we want to get for 0.1 and 0.5, we can be giving a list, right? So that we can get it as for 0.1, whatever is the quantile value, and whatever is the 0.5, whatever is the quantile value for that. Okay. Now for missing value. The data is not available because of filled or collecting data kept optional. I told you the example that email was kept optional. So the data may not be available for that, isn't it? So, and if you want to consider INF and negative INF, that is infinity, to be NA, in competitions, you can set pandas.options.code.use underscore INF as NA, that is equal to true. Means sometimes you are having the value that is infinity or negative infinity, and that also you want to treat as not available value, then you have to set this option as true, right? This option as true, right? So let us create now data frame with missing data. So say missdf is equal to pd.dataframe and p.random.random 5 into 3, right? Now, index is A, C, E, F, H. Different index is there. It is not in the sequence. It can be anything, isn't it? Now, say columns is 1, 2, 3. Now, missdf of 4, that is equal to bar. What we are doing is we are creating a data frame where we are having 5 into 3 shape. First of all, we are creating this. Its index is A, C, what is that? E, F, H, right? A, C, E, F, H. That's what we have created. This is the full data. No missing value in that. The column names are set as 1, 2, and 3, right? Now what we want is, we want to have the fourth column available in this data. So I can set it as missdf of 4, that is equal to bar. By default value I am giving because I'm just adding it. Okay. So if I do this way, then what we are getting is for 4 column, it is having bar, bar, bar as the value. So is it creating the missing value? Actually, it is not yet creating. Only thing is, first of all, we have created the data frame wherein we are having the column as 1, 2, 3. The size of data is 5 cross 3 and index as AC, whatever is there, ACEFH, right? Then after creating this data frame, we are adding the 4 column, right? 4 number column, okay? And its value we are giving it as the bar, right? Now, if I want to change the index, this is not going to create the missing data, but the steps are there, isn't it? So first of all, we have created the data, right? Okay. Now, what do I want to have? I can create the missing data with, say, I'm giving the value as np.nn for anything, like, let me give it the, here. Let's say that missdf of, what is that? Say 4. I'm giving it as, here I have set it as 4, but I am giving it as np.nan. And then after I'll be printing missdf. So can we say that we have created the missing value? Yes, we have created the missing value, isn't it? This way we can say created the missing value, right? Fine. Now, what we are doing is, we want to change the index. So we are using the reindex. Okay, we are using the reindex. For that, what we are doing? Say missdf2, that is equal to missdf.reindex A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. See, here what I have told you, that was the missing data was created, but for this particular column, right? Now, if you want to create it in between also, let me just undo the effect of this one. That is, I can say I'm having the effect of this. So I'm having the data set where I'm having the value for 1, 2, 3, 4 column. Now, if I want to add the missing data, this is where we have said whole column is having the missing data, right? Now, in between, That is, if I want to get it something like this, that is for row, or you can say anywhere we want to provide this data. That was for column, this is for row. I want to have the missing data. I want to create the missing data, right? So for that we can say missdf2 that is equal to missdf dot reindex. What we were having the index as something was AF, C, H, E, something like that was there. But now what I am doing is I am giving it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So instead of 5 index values were there, I am giving it as 8, right? So that is missdf dot reindex. And now if I print this data, what it will do is for whatever data it was already having, it keeps it as it is. But as the index is created for B, no value is available. So it considered that as the NAM, right? This way we have created the missing values in row. The before that was this was there. For that we have created the missing value in column, in a particular column, right? In a particular column. This was for particular row, right? Shows NaN, that is for particular row, isn't it? So this way we have created the missing data, isn't it? Now how to find the missing data? For that we can say we are having the function that is isNA that will show us the missing data if we are having missing data. To find not missing data, we have not NA function available. To find the null data, we are having the isNull function. Okay, and that we can use it with the help of our data frame object. Fine. Now, isNA if we are using, it will detect the missing values. It returns Boolean same sized object indicating if the values are null. That is NA. Not null, I can say it is NA, not available, right? Because we are using isNA. Now, NA values such as none or numpy.nan gets mapped to true values when we are using isNA, right? Not available values, it is none or otherwise numpy.nan, right? Characters such as empty strings or numpy.inf are not considered NA values unless you have already set this particular option as true. So if you want to use that also, you have to set this option as true. Fine? Okay. Now, let me say that I want to check for a particular column. Say pd.isNA is NA. NA means not available, isn't it? For missdf2 of 1. In that, where the value is not available, right? False. So value is available. For B, it is not available. You can see that for B row, it is not available. For D row, it is not available. For G row, it is not available, isn't it? So B, F, and G. For B, F, and G, for B, it is there. For what is there? True, right? True is there. Sorry, B, D is there, and then you can say G is there. Let us first check it out. Okay, it is for B, then for D, and then for G, right? Is it there? For one column. One. It is this one, right? For B, it is there. For D, it is there. And for G, it is there, right? Probably we haven't run that before. Now we can see that for B, for D, and for G, it is there, right? That's what we are getting here. True, right? B, this is D, right? And this is G. Okay, fine. Now, if I want to do this summation, where the none value is there, I want to get the summation. How many missing values are available. So I'll be able to do it as this way. How to find the missed one, that is the NA1, that is already known to us. This one, we just have to do the sum. So it will give us the count of that, right? I want to find the count of missing data for all the columns. Then no need to specifying any column name here. We'll just do it as pd.isNA miss df2, that is the data frame, dot sum, right? So it will give us the missing data in each and every column, and then after what? It's a summation, isn't it? It is a summation of each and every column. That is in three rows are there. That is where the NaN is found. For 2 also it is there. For 3 also. For 4 also. Right? In that particular column, not row, in that particular column, we are having that many missing values, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4 are the columns, okay? Not rows. Rows are typically used as the index, isn't it? Now, count total missing values data. So for that, we can say pd.isNA miss df2 dot sum and again dot sum. So it will do the summation of all these 4. So total missing values will be able to find with this. Okay. Now, with isNull, what we want is, let's see here, for isNull, we'll say it is false and true, right? So here for B, for D, for G, right? True is that. Null value is that. Now for not NA, not missing values, right? Not missing values. Say, let us consider for column 1, we can say not NA, right? So not NA, we have found for B, D and G, it was having missing value, right? So for that it is false. For B, D and G, which was true for NA, right? That are now false for not NA, right? It is simple, isn't it? Now how to deal with the missing data? That is, we can say that we want to fill the value, right? We want to fill some value. So that is fill NA, and we can provide whatever value we want to fill, right? Let us see the original data, right? Where NaN is there. Okay. So now fill NA we are using to fill the data, right? For that, not for this particular data set only, let us create one and then after do it. But the methods are there. What are they? First of all, we should know backfill, bfill, pad, ffill, none. These are the methods, right? Now, what is there for fill? Pad or fffill, it propagate the last valid observation forward to the next value. Backfill or bfill, that is use the next valid observation to fill the gap, right? Let us see the example. We can have the idea. This is the simple, what we can say, the data frame is created with the missing values. We have already given the missing data in that. If I print that, we can see it as, say, A, B, C, D are the columns. 0, 1, 2, 3 is the index, and NaN values are, right? Now, if I want to replace all NaN values as 0, we can use it as fill NA 0, right? We can see wherever NaN was there, it is being replaced with the 0 value. This is what is required for our data set, right? Now, if we want to encode the missing values, we can use it as the with the mean we want to replace the value. That is what we are doing is we can be using it as say fill NA is fine, but with the help of this fill df dot mean, whatever is the mean value, with that we want to replace. Typically this one, that is by fill by the mean or median or most frequent value people are filling, right? So that's what we are doing here. We can say we'll be using it as median, then after whatever is the frequent value that we can put it here, whatever is the function you are using, that way it will fill the value, right? If we want to drop the NA values, we can be using fill df dot drop n, right? So what will be that? You can say in each and every row we are having the NaN value. So it will remove all the rows, fine? Okay, if we want to do the same for the particular column, we can be using it for say fill df of C, that is a column name, and drop N, right? So this was already being modified, fine. So we'll not be able to see that, but we can say this is that, not this. Our original data is that. Let me put it here. Run is now. Let me show this one, right? Our drop NA for C column, right? But what is that? That in C, we are having NaN everywhere. So it has removed everything, isn't it? And we are able to see the series, right? So that's all for today.